Have you ever found yourself trapped in a pattern? One so familiar, so ingrained, it feels like you're living a rerun of the same day over and over? Imagine waking up every morning with the same doubts, the same fears, the same small failures whispering in your ear. I want to tell you about the moment I broke that cycle. Picture a dimly lit room, morning light sneaking through dusty blinds, casting long shadows. That was me, years ago, stuck in a 9-to-5 job that didn't feed my soul. I recall the mornings where coffee was less a pleasure and more a necessity to keep me going. I remember the sinking feeling walking through those office doors, a place filled with fluorescent lights and half-hearted smiles. But here's something most people don't realize. Breaking cycles doesn't mean making giant leaps from the start. It means tiny revolutions inside your mind and heart. Years back, I was stuck financially, emotionally, and mentally. And then came that day, when a simple, offhand comment during lunch hit me like a thunderclap. "You're not going to get anywhere by playing it safe." That question haunted me like a lingering shadow. I started asking myself, what if my fears are the walls keeping me prisoner? What if instead of chains, I held the key? Let me pause here. What is your cycle? Is it fear of failure, toxic relationships, a dead-end job, or maybe the voice inside that tells you you're not enough? I took my first step by changing my morning routine. Instead of diving into social media, I grabbed a book, a real one, with pages and a spine. I started listening to podcasts from people who had been where I was. I learned that growth is about patience, persistence, and perspective. One vivid memory stands out. On a chilly autumn morning, walking through a park bathed in golden light, I realized the power of choice. Every leaf that fell was a symbol of release, a letting go of what no longer served me. Now, breaking cycles isn't a fairy tale, it's messy. It's filled with nights of doubt and mornings of quiet determination. I fell many times. I failed about as often as I tried, but with every fall, I discovered a little more about who I was capable of being. My favorite quote from Zig Ziglar kept me anchored. "It's not how far you fall, but how high you bounce that counts." Have you felt that sting of failure? That sharp reminder that you're human? What if I told you that failure is your greatest tutor? Growth hides on the other side of discomfort. So here's the challenge that changed me. I told myself every day, I will fail forward. I stopped aiming for perfection. Instead, I aimed for progress. Because progress, no matter how small, is a victory dance. Imagine monthly meetings where you share your goals, not to impress others, but to hold yourself accountable. Imagine mornings with no alarm, but a purpose waking you up. Imagine the energy of knowing that every step you take is one away from the past that held you back. I've seen friends frozen by fear, stuck in cycles of doubt or addiction or procrastination. And I've also seen those same friends find their moment to break free, sometimes in an instant, sometimes in slow waves. Their stories remind me that breaking any cycle is a personal revolution. It requires courage, but rewards with freedom. What if your cycle is not just about you? What if breaking it impacts your family, your friends, your community? The ripple effect of one person breaking free is colossal. Here's a personal story about humor in the hardest times. One evening, my dad looked at me and said with a smirk, "So, you're serious about this whole break the cycle thing, huh?" I laughed and said, "Yeah, consider it my midlife rebellion." Sometimes, laughter is the fuel that carries us through the tough moments. Now, it's your turn. What small step can you take now that will start your sequence of change? The key is starting. Every champion has faced their cycle. The legendary Les Brown said, "You gotta be hungry." Hunger drives us, like a fire burning beneath the ashes of complacency. Are you hungry enough to claim your freedom? Breaking the cycle also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. I had to learn that my failures didn't define me. My response to them did. You are not a prisoner of your past, but the architect of your future. The moment I broke the cycle wasn't spectacular. It was quietly revolutionary. The question now stands for you. Will you choose to stay in the cycle? Or will you break free and write a new story?